host, Jay Stoyan. On our show, we had music sensation Josh Turk. He's still with us. He's going to play a couple songs later in the song, but there's such a dynamic that I wanted him to be a part of this interview. But let me introduce world-famous music producer Mark Berry on the show. Mark, thanks for being on the show today.
Absolutely, man.
This is great.
Yeah,
this
great
is
to be
great.
here.
I've researched this guy. My goodness, he has played with the biggest names and independent and emerging. Like, I love the way, Mark, you give just as much respect to somebody like Josh as you would to David Bowie.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't do that in your industry.
That's true.
You know, and like what he said, he didn't know you. He, gave you a shout out, and you came out. And so I got to commend you on that because not many people will do that. So
you know, in respect to Josh, it always comes down to the song. So I was hearing songs and they were sticking to me as I'm walking down the street. I'm humming his melodies and I'm going, okay, that says there's something there. So.
I was just going to say that. What is it with the new artist? What is it that sticks in your mind?
It's the songs.
The songs,
the
eh?
songs, yeah.
And so take us back now. Like take our viewers, because everybody's commenting on Facebook now. So take us back. Like I know you're a New Yorker, right? So how long are you in Canada now?
Gosh, I've been in Canada for 38 years.
38 years. And was there a reason you moved up here?
My lawyer, Paul Schindler, still my lawyer to this day, would have me fly around the world and produce records for his clients.
Okay.
So I'd go to Australia, I worked for Michael Gudinski at Mushroom Records, hang out there for 3 months, then I'd go to London, UK and work for Polygram Records for 3 months, just mixing and producing and stuff, and just all over the world. And Paul represented a band here called Platinum Blonde.
Okay, I know Platinum.
And their management company. And they put us together, and I came up, I did a record with Kenny McLean, the bass player.
Yeah.
Won a Juno, very successful record, and the rest is history.
So you know Paris Black then too, then?
Paris
You know Paris,
Black,
right?
okay.
I mean, they were all in my studio.
Everybody knows
They were
Paris
in my,
Black.
you know Paris, eh? This is so funny. Like, I just met Mark probably, about a couple months ago, but we're talking, we know everybody, the same people in the industry. Like, we're going to talk about a special one that we just had on the weekend. So tell us now the makeup of AMG. Tell us what AMG does, Mark.
Okay, so AMG is a music, film, and television company.
Okay.
And we have a label services division, which is how we work with Josh. So Josh piggybacked our deal at Sony. We go through 2 different divisions of wholly owned subsidiaries of Sony Music. So we do that. Then we do Spotify playlisting, which we were very successful with getting millions of streams for Josh on his Spotify accounts and elsewhere. And then we put songs into film, TVs, video games, ad agencies, movie trailer companies.
Yeah, I was on the AMG website. So tell me what are the visuals? Is that film and television when you say visuals?
Visuals is film and television. So we have a film out now that's doing very, very well on AMC Shudder called The Sacrifice Game, and that was just nominated one of the top 3 films by Hollywood Reporter magazine.
Oh, wow.
Horror films for 2023. So that's a good one. We've got Bloodline Killer with Academy Award winner Bruce Dern and Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson from Fast and the Furious. And we have The Track, which is a horse racing reality-based program.
When did you move into the film and television?
We were always in it.
Always in it, right?
We were always in it. There was a big synergy between the publishing division of AMG, which is 50% owned by BMG Music, and we were doing a lot of insertions, even on our own film and television.
So before '98, because that's when that's when you sort of created AMG.
Right.
Right. So, but before that, you were with.
I was independent producing.
Independent.
Yeah, just Headstones, Killjoys.
So contracted through Sony, whoever, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So tell me now, what's the big difference that you've noticed between south of the border and north of the border? When it comes to the music industry, for a musician's sake,
it's a very tiny market here. It's 10% of the U.S. market. So the goal is to, and that was part of my immigration coming to Canada, was that I would take an artist, I'd produce an artist, let's say for example like a Josh Turk, and then I'd get on an airplane and I'd go to the Medem conference in the south of France. And I'd say, here Germany, here's a new record by Josh Turk. Here France, here's a new record. Here Japan, here's a new record. And we get the records out, So anything having to do with the exportation of anything culturally based, film, television, artists, music artists, whatever, they love.
Now, what I've heard, but I could be totally wrong, is now labels are just looking for hits. They're not really looking for the albums anymore. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, they want hits,
Yeah,
but
they want
they also want the ball at the 50-yard line before they sign any act.
Are they still willing to invest a couple years in artists, or not like before? Like, because you always hear we didn't hit a hit song until our fourth album, like back in the day, right?
Yeah, not like before. You know, in Canada, it's a different market here because they say they're basically distribution outlets, and if you are a Canadian-based artist, they say, okay, well, go to Factor, we'll give you a distribution deal. You fund the record through Factor, which is a government grant agency.
Okay.
You make the record,
Yeah.
we'll distribute it, and then we'll get it out through our Universal or Sony affiliates worldwide.
And then you guys split the percentage? Is that
Yeah,
how it would
whatever
work?
percentages work
Whatever
out.
you work out with
Whatever's
the artist,
worked out,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So basically, it's up to the artist to go and make the album, right?
Right.
And then
Through a
you-
grant from the
or
government.
through however
Yeah,
you're going to get
yeah,
money, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you guys no longer, like those days are over where you pay for the production of an album? Are those days sort of gone?
Those days are over.
Those days are over, eh?
Yeah.
Unless you're like, or even for the big guys.
Yeah, I mean, like in the early 90s, I was doing, so many major label productions. They don't really exist anymore.
They don't exist
I mean, it's like artists like Josh financing something on their own, right? And then we're going out trying to create value for it so that a major label can come along and say, okay,
Now, is that all because of Napster?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
It is, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Like, it's too bad because as a non-musician, I would say, why do you give away your music? But those days are gone now,
Yeah,
right?
they don't exist anymore.
Yeah. So take us now, and then when we want to come back, I want to talk about some of your artists that you've produced for. So take us now how Sony is attached to the AMG side of things.
Okay, so Sony has affiliate divisions of other distributors and or record companies that they own.
Okay.
Right? Wholly owned subsidiaries. So a lot of the digital outlets are considered to be farm teams.
Okay.
Okay, so they do a record on their own, like Josh. They put it out. It starts creating value, and on that farm team, whatever it's on, there's a major label system that owns it and says, okay, Josh Turk's making a lot of noise here. Why don't we bump him up to a Sony wholly owned label?
Okay.
Arista Records, Epic Records, Columbia Records, BMG.
And is there a standard percentage that the artist gets, like an average? Is there
Every
like,
every deal is different.
every
deal is
every-
different
I
today
guess
because,
depends
like, if someone like Josh
popular
is
you are.
coming in, he owns his masters.
Okay.
What a great position to be in.
Okay.
If we put a song in a movie for $100,000, that 50,000 goes to Josh because he owns the master.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So that's very interesting, right? But that's why you need a producer like Mark to tell you what's going on. So right now in the studio we have at WildChild Records, we have world famous producer Mark Berry, and we have Josh Turk. Now Josh is going to take us to the break with one of his originals, if you would, Josh.
Absolutely.
And then we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about who Mark has produced over the years. So put your hands together. We want to see some comments on Facebook, everybody. Let's see some comments. Josh, take away. What are you going to play for us?
So I'm going to play a song for you that I wrote off of my last record.
Okay.
And, it's amazing. I was in Denver seeing Kings of Leon with a really good buddy of mine.
Oh.
And it was one of those days and one of those nights where there was just magic everywhere. We got to Red Rocks. It was outside. It was still pretty warm by the time we got there, but in the middle of the set, it started snowing. Kings of Leon were doing an incredible job. They loved that it was snowing because it kind of bonded them with the audience. And we stayed out until the wee hours of the morning. And I had to get back onto a plane because I had to head back out, go back on tour, go record. And I remember driving up to the airport, just thinking about all the life that I had lived the night before. And as the sun started to rise, over the little hills just in front of the airport, I saw this statue. Big horse rearing into the distance as the sun was coming up. Big orange, yellow flames shooting across the sky. And as I got closer, it's like, it's a midnight blue Mustang. past the point where the hourglass means anything but time. And every grade we don't grow old, we just grow more alive. Far from the shadows, the city lights, and the darkness that fills up, swallows the night and the stars. You can't see the light, how do you know who you really are? I wanna live like a midnight Mustang, baby, wanna be free. I wanna go where the wind don't whisper, where the sky's on fire, going straight. I wanna live like a midnight Mustang, baby, wanna be free. The only sides are the white lines, my road, my home, my destiny. So run with me, run with me. I wanna live like a midnight Mustang, babe, I wanna be free. I wanna roam where the wind don't whisper, where the sky's on fire and the poets scream. I wanna live like a midnight Mustang. I wanna be free. I wanna roam where the wind don't whisper, where the sky's on fire and the poets scream. I wanna live like a midnight Mustang. Babe, I wanna be free. Where the only sides are the thin white lines, my road, my home, my destiny. So run with me, run with me. Oh, I wanna live. Oh, I want to live. So run with me, run with me. Oh, I wanna live. Oh, I wanna live. So run with me, run with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wonderful way to take us out to the break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with WildChild Records.